may not seem like it in today's world, but students can still be successful in science courses. Maybe your child has come home upset that they're not doing better in science, or you're upset that they don't have better science grades, or possibly even both. It can seem like it's impossible for them to get out of this slump and do better, even if you as the parent know that they have that in them. They're a good kid and they do so many things right, but right now science class is just not going well. You don't like to see them bothered by it. You don't like how you feel about it. So something needs to change. But what? You can send them to extra help with their teacher or get them extra tutoring. Those are both traditional options that you probably know other parents have tried, or maybe you've already tried either or both of these options with your child, and for whatever reason it hasn't worked or it hasn't worked yet. Or maybe you don't want to hire an expensive tutor when there are no guaranteed results. Maybe your kid has a busy schedule and can't always meet with their teacher outside class time. Maybe your child doesn't want to talk to another adult about why they're not performing well in science. Oh, there's so much here that you just wish there was another way. These are all of the things I was thinking about when I was on the phone with one of my students' parents a few years ago. We'll call him Randy. Randy's mom was a wreck because Randy had always been good at science in middle school, and he enjoyed it. His teachers always said good things, and his grades were excellent. So when Randy went to high school, he began taking chemistry as a freshman in my class. He felt out of place immediately. There were a lot of sophomores and juniors in the class, and it seemed so much more intimidating than middle school science. After the first test, Randy's fears were confirmed. He did way worse on it than anything he'd ever done in middle school. I saw his face when he got it back, and it was a mix of panic and disappointment. I pulled him aside after class and told him not to worry. It was just the first test, and chemistry is a big adjustment for a lot of students, especially freshmen. He nodded and left quickly. After the second test, I got a note from his mother asking me to call her. When we talked on the phone, I realized she was the best kind of parent. She really wanted the best for her son and wanted him to be successful. She knew he was capable and could put in the work. I wish I could say that it was all rainbows and butterflies there, but it really was a struggle all year. Randy had a roller coaster of a year, so all of us were so happy when it did end in a really good place with Randy coming out successful. I felt like everyone thought it was worth it, but I wondered why it had to be that complicated. Randy came to extra help with me constantly, worked really hard in class, and I was always in communication with him and his mom about next steps. And some of his tests were great, and some of them were still really bad. So it worked in that he was successful in the end, but it seemed far from the ideal process and the ideal experience. I kept thinking there has to be a better way. Not that hard work, dedication, and communication between student, parent, and teacher was not a good way for Randy to achieve his goal, because it worked, but why did it have to come to all of that? Not to mention, I know so many students that don't have a parent like Randy's mom who could or knew how to offer the support in all the exact right ways to help Randy without fighting with him or his teacher about grades and accountability. There were just a lot of things that went right in that situation that could have easily gone not right if any small variable had changed. So I started to think about ways to help my students be more successful in science class without that year-long battle. One of the biggest things that kept coming up was something that I'd seen quite a bit in my teaching experience, but it was highlighted when I had this experience with Randy. And that was that it seemed like, due to Randy's good work ethic and previous success in science, chemistry would be no big deal to him. He was set up well, but instead it was a major struggle. So I started to think why he wasn't prepared for high school science when he'd gone to a good school with good teachers. When working with Randy and so many students like him, I noticed that they could memorize content pretty well, but had trouble when it came to putting things together. To me, this meant that they were lacking in the skills necessary to learn the science, not the science content itself. This could be for so many reasons, but in the beginning, I was mainly focused on how to fix it. So I began creating an online course to help students learn these skills so they could start incorporating them into science class. Inside Science Skills Accelerator, students learn how certain skills like critical thinking, problem solving, lab skills, observation, and curiosity can help them be more successful in science. I go through examples using science content, modeling exactly how to use these skills to better understand and learn in science class. Students can practice using these skills in exercises designed to help them boost these core skills and then apply them to their own science courses. I've used what I've learned from many years of being a science educator to guide the creation of this course. I've worked from not only the science content and skills aspect of things, but also what I know about how students learn when they are getting it right. So if you're interested in learning more, check out the link for Science Skills Accelerator in the description below. Or keep tuning into more of my videos because my mission is to help as many students succeed in science as possible. If you just want some quick tips to help your child improve their science grade, I have a free guide, 10 tips to improve your science grade, you can grab in the description below as well. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see more of you soon.